Find the distance between 2 points. So we're going to find the distance between -6, -5, and 4/8. So we mark those off on our graph here. -6, -5 is here, and 4/8 is here. So picture as you go from one point to another, let's say we just go this way. There's change in x and there's a change in y as we go there. This over here on the here is the change in x, delta x, change in x. And here is a change in y as we go from one point to another. That's delta y. So change in x is, here's the point x2, y2, here's the point x1, y1. So the change in x is the 4, which is the x2, subtract the x1, which is over here, x2 minus x1, and that's 4, which is that coordinate, subtract -6, right there, and that's 10. So indeed it's 10 units. See, it's 6 units to here and 4 more to here, so it's 10 units here. And similarly, the change in y is the y2 minus the y1. 8 minus a -5 is 13, and it really is 13 units in this change in y here. From -5 down here up to 8 up there, that's a span of 13 units. So then we employ the Pythagorean theorem, which says that for a right triangle, which is what this says, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. The legs are a and b and the hypotenuse is c. So what we have here is delta x squared plus delta y squared equals the distance that we're looking for squared. So then, as we've been doing with all these problems, to solve for d, the distance, you take the square root of both sides, and I just moved it over here. The square root of d squared is d, and so you'd have this formula right there. So instead of trying to memorize the distance formula just blindly, just picture this graph here with the delta x and delta y and the d, and you can derive it on the spot. You don't really have to memorize it. So d is delta x squared plus delta y squared. That's how you're going to remember it, which is x2 minus x1 and y2 minus y1 in there. You put the numbers in from the points. You get your numbers, you square them out, you add them up, and maybe it comes out nice to a whole number, or maybe you have to do a decimal. It's okay to have this or that.